The history of the US dollar. The USD, United States dollar, is the official currency of the United States and its territories per the Coinage Act of 1792. The most commonly used symbol for the dollar is dollar, but US dollar is also recognized and widely used. The US dollar, USD, is the currency most used in international transactions. Several countries use the US dollar as their official currency, and many others allow it to be used in a de facto capacity. The official currency of the United States. The United States dollar, commonly called the American dollar, is the official currency of the United States and its territories per the Coinage Act of 1792. The USD is a fiat currency that's not backed by gold or silver but instead has value because people believe it does. The USD has been used as a legal tender in America since it was introduced in 1792. Before then, states issued their own money, often called continentals, because they were supposed to be good throughout North America continent. These continentals were usually printed on poor quality paper and quickly became worthless as inflation skyrocketed during the Revolutionary War, 1775 to 1783, and after independence from Great Britain was declared in 1776. This led many colonists to trade them for British pounds sterling instead. In the 18th and 19th centuries, Americans used a variety of foreign currencies including British pounds sterling, Spanish dollars, pieces of 8, French francs, and German thalers. The USD was introduced in 1792 to replace the various state-issued currencies that had been circulating in America for decades. It wasn't until 1862 that paper money became legal tender, though it took another 50 years for all states to accept bills from any bank. The US dollar symbol. When you hear the term dollar, you probably think of cash. And in many cases, that's correct. The United States dollar is currently the most widely used currency in circulation. But the symbol for US currency is a capital letter D, not a lowercase letter d. The reason behind this strange convention has to do with history and politics, as most things do. When Congress enacted its first monetary system in 1792, it decided on an alphabetical pattern for denoting coins, $1 for gold coins, $2 for silver coins, and so forth. This system made sense at the time because no other coins were being used by American citizens. However, when foreign governments began printing their paper currencies using similar designations, for example 2 pence equals 2D, confusion was bound to ensue. Their choice? An uppercase letter D with 2 vertical strokes through its center. A stylized version of the lowercase letter d became known as the dollar sign. So where did this strange design come from? It was an invention by one of America's most famous artists, George Washington. In 1786, President Washington commissioned the creation of a new silver dollar coin to replace foreign currency as legal tender in the United States. This move was made in response to a trade war with France. He then asked his friend and painter Gilbert Stuart to create a design for this new coin that would reflect both its value and stature. The most used currency internationally. The US dollar, USD, is the currency most used in international transactions. Several countries use the US dollar as their official currency, and many others allow it to be used in a de facto capacity. Because of this widespread acceptance, you may hear that the US dollar is the world's reserve currency or that the US dollar is the most traded currency on earth. But what do these phrases mean exactly? What is a reserve currency? A country's central bank holds its foreign exchange reserves, which could include gold, in an account denominated in another country's money for safety reasons and liquidity purposes, i.e., so it can easily sell those assets when necessary. The term reserve currency refers to any of these currencies, including the euro, Japanese yen, Swiss franc, and pound sterling, that are widely held by other central banks as part of their foreign exchange reserve accounts because they're considered safe bets against inflation and riskier investments such as equities or commodities like oil or gold bullion. For example, if Japan wants to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, it will first exchange its yen for US dollars. The USD, United States dollar, is the most widely used currency in international transactions. One study estimates that around $1.2 trillion, around 34% of all forex transactions, take place during this window, according to the Bank for International Settlements 2016 Triennial Central Bank Survey of FX and OTC Derivatives Markets Activity. This is large because of the United States' role as a global economic powerhouse, which makes it a key hub for international business. The US dollar also has the most significant currency reserves in the world, making it a more stable currency than many other major currencies. The US dollar is often used in international trade, especially with other countries that are part of the G7 and G20. It's also a safe currency to hold if you want to diversify your portfolio. For investors looking to make long-term investments or hedge against volatility, holding foreign currencies is a good option. The US dollar is a reserve currency. The dollar is the most stable currency in the world. The dollar is the most liquid currency in the world. The dollar is the most widely accepted currency in the world. It's held as a reserve by other nations for these reasons and more. It can act as an indicator of global economic health, and it is one of the largest economies backing its value. This combination makes it a secure place to store wealth or conduct transactions while ensuring stability, something that many other currencies don't offer at this point in history, or ever. The fact that the dollar is a haven currency means it's more stable than some other currencies that are backed by less stable economies. This can be especially helpful when you're dealing with fluctuations in the market or need to make a transaction quickly. The US dollar's global role. As the role of other currencies has grown, however, the USD's, United States dollars, role has declined, falling from 91% in 2001 to roughly 60% at present. This decline comes despite a strengthening dollar since 2014 relative to other currencies after consistently weakening since reaching an all-time high in 1985 and weakening again after reaching an all-time low in 2009. While there are several reasons for this shift away from the US currency and towards other currencies, one major driver is due to China's growing importance as an economic power. The Chinese yuan is now second only to the US dollar as a reserve currency with $1.3 trillion worth of reserves. In addition to being used as a tool by nations seeking international influence and recognition among their peers, it also serves as another layer of protection against inflationary pressure on national economies as well as expensive imports that could cause runaway inflation if left unchecked. The USD, United States dollar, is the official currency of the United States and its territories per the Coinage Act of 1792. The most commonly used symbol for the dollar is dollar, but US dollar is also recognized and widely used. The US dollar, USD, is the currency most used in international transactions. Several countries use the US dollar as their official currency, and many others allow it to be used in a de facto capacity. Around $1.2 trillion, around 34% of all forex transactions, take place during this window, according to the Bank for International Settlements 2016 Triennial Central Bank Survey of FX and OTC Derivatives Markets Activity.